Hey, hello everybody. This is Kevin Adler, and I'm here to interview Samiah Perry, one of the performers at the 2024 Takoma Park Folk Festival. As a reminder, we're on Sunday, September 8th. We begin at 10:30. The festival's free as always, Takoma Park Middle School, and we are just delighted to have Samiah as one of our performers. So welcome. Samiah is a DC-based singer-songwriter, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about your musical influences, how you got here, et cetera.
Yeah, sure. The funny thing about my musical influences is I suppose one of the first ones was probably just in a way classical because it was Howard Shore, who is like the composer for a lot of the Lord of the Rings films. And that was an easy segue because I already knew that I liked like rock music. I was into like pop punk. That was just what we were into at the time. And it was just a super easy segue into like heavier styles like Evanescence, Breaking Benjamin, because it had a lot of those classical music moments inside of the music. And that I would say is pretty much the foundation of like what I became as a musician. So for sure, that is my number one influence. I always would say that if Evanescence didn't exist, I probably wouldn't either.
Yeah, you've got a big sound. I mean, what do you like? What do you like about that? I mean,
Um, the irony is like I always felt like I wrote songs that were too big for my voice because I always felt like I had a little voice. It was so tiny and soft. I think that just embracing that is probably the easiest thing, just being able to write around it and kind of make it a little airy, especially for that particular album, The Flower and the Serpent. I think it worked in my favor that time. But there are still songs I have that I'm like, I don't have a big enough voice for this that I've written. So it happens.
now when I sort of reference the sound, I've seen some material online, and you have a band of several members. Is that what you'll be bringing to the folk festival, or will it be a more a different kind of performance?
Not this time. It'll be more of an intimate acoustic performance. So we'll be playing some of pretty much the entire Flower and the Serpent EP acoustically, and we'll add in some new songs that you haven't heard before. So that'll be including a new one from our new EP that we just want to test out and see if you guys like.
And you and I were talking a few minutes ago, and you mentioned that you guys are fine tuning other songs for, I guess, a new EP. Is that right? That's something you're working on?
Yeah. We are. So we've finished the initial writing stages. I finished pretty much everything lyrically and melodically. What we're doing now is really deciding if we like all of the instrumental parts. And what I think we should do next on our agenda is just make sure we record all of that as a full band and then kind of take a re-listen to see if there's elements we want to add or if there's anything that just isn't working for us anymore before we step into studio and start recording, because that is not the time to decide, maybe I should fix this now.
And I know you write your band's songs. Does it start with words or images or a rhythm that you do with some of the other? Where do these come from?
Uh, all of them. I think the only thing you haven't hit is like sometimes I'll have melodies that I hear when I'm sleeping and then I'll just wake up and like make sure I record them. But
Okay.
yeah, it's all of that. It's mostly, I would say, it starts with either a melody that I'm hearing in my head, or it will be like a rhythm that I'll kind of like, or even just like a lick that I'll play out on the guitar and think that's cool. And then my friends and I can turn it into something really, really amazing.
Okay. And in your writing, are there themes that come up often, that the songs that we'll be hearing at the folk festival, that they personal, political, humorous, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much both. I would say a lot of The Flower and the Serpent is very personal. But there are some songs thrown in there that can be considered political as well. It just depends on your interpretation. And and the way that I write things, it tends to be objective. So no interpretation is truly wrong. And sometimes in those cases, it's both. So
Oh, wow. Can you, you know, if let's say I've never seen you and I'm coming to the folk festival, I'm coming to the stage to see you. It's going to be you and
So my best friend Jabari
okay.
Reynolds, we're going to play together acoustically. He's trying to get me on guitar this time. I'm like, no, we'll see. I'll decide if I want to. I'll play. If I can, we'll play for you too.
But I guess you write with the on
I
guitar. Is
do.
that okay? Okay.
But it's so much easier not to have to worry about it on stage.
Um, yeah, well, it's a very welcoming audience. They'll appreciate whatever you're doing, whatever you aspire to. It's you know, it's a very friendly atmosphere and so on. So well, is there uh, we've covered a few things. Is there anything else you just sort of want people to know about you and what they might, you know, what they might expect, what they might expect to see?
Yeah, I think that you guys should know that I am excited to be here. I think if you like just music that kind of pulls at your heartstrings, that's emotional, that makes you think a little bit about yourself and the world, definitely come see us. It'll be fun.
That sounds fantastic. So we'll see you on September 8th. And thank you so much for participating in this interview and in the upcoming folk festival.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me.